G'day everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to episode number 2 of the Aberdeen rebuild, where we are taking on the challenge of trying to rebuild Aberdeen from near enough relegation candidates in real life, the way it's going at the moment, to try and overtake Celtic and Rangers and top the Scottish League and see if we can win any more trophies along the way. So let's go and have a look and see what's been going on. So as you can see, we are on the 2nd of September 2027. This is the 3rd season and we had a fairly successful, if we have a look at my profile and have a look at my history, so to speak, we picked up a couple of trophies last season. So we did have the, what is their version of the FA Cup and the League Cup, and we did manage to snag them. So we're coming into the season on a bit of a high, to say the least. But before I go into the transfer side of things, something I didn't allude to last season was some of the impressive youth players that I've managed to pick up as well. So there are a couple that are standing out on this main screen here. So Ty Chauvin is a striker with incredibly bad first touch, but he can finish it, he can head it, and he's got the technique to match it along with the bravery. Needs to work on the mentals massively, but physically he is rapid, just needs a little bit of strength. At 16 years old, will we get to see him? Will he develop quick enough? He's got a 4.5 star potential, so that is a possibility. But then there is also Mr. Craig Aitken, another 16-year-old who I actually think is better, mainly because he's got the teamwork and work rate of 16 already and determination of 15. Which means with a personality of a fairly determined personality, I'm hoping that he's actually going to reach his potential. You never know, within a couple of seasons, maybe around about season 5, I think maybe in the next episode we could actually see him being brought into the team. He's certainly good enough. In fact, he's probably good enough to go into the team now, but I don't want to hamper his development too much. But also, that being said, we did bring in a few other players. If we go back before the takeover, I didn't bring anybody in. There were a couple that left. Antti Palversa and Emmanuel Gyamfi have both gone for really, really small fees. And then on top of that, I did actually make a little bit of money, finally. Topi Keskinen has gone to out to the Middle East for 3.5 million. Ryan Wintle has gone back to Stoke, down south of the border, for 1.4. Christos Tobas has gone out to the Middle East as well for 325k. So I managed to raise about 5.5 million, as it says over here. I did spend it. So I brought in fact, I'll go over the free transfers first. I brought in a couple of free transfers. One of them, Waylon Renek. Renek? I think that's how you pronounce it. Really good 21-year-old left-footed centre-back on a free transfer. And I thought, you know what? He is going to challenge Gozi in that position. I think he's just as good. So as a free transfer, I think I'm going to get the best out of him. And then the homecoming. The homecoming of homecomings is Calvin Ramsey. Obviously sold by Aberdeen a few years ago to Liverpool and then didn't quite develop. Injuries have hampered him in real life and he didn't get his contract extended on this game. So I snapped him up on a free transfer and he only wanted 6 grand a week and he's brilliant. For this standard of league, he is absolutely brilliant, so I'm very, very happy to bring him back. Then on top of that, I needed a striker. Nisbet, I had already alluded to, was nowhere near good enough for what I wanted. I wanted a little bit of pace up front. So this is what I've done. I've gone for Shin Yamada, who was actually on the transfer list at Celtic. Wasn't getting any games. Decent finishing, decent mentals, but it's his physicals that make him stand out because he is rapid. And he's already scored 9 goals in 12 games. And the fact that I only brought him in for 875k, that's being paid off already. I'm very happy with that. But then I also wanted to bring in somebody who was going to be like a step up in the centre of midfield. I needed somebody who was going to be a bit of a tackler. And it's been tough trying to find players that are going to actually improve my team, not just keep it in like sort of a mediocre level. And I brought in this guy, Arthur Paidefort, from Westerlo in Belgium. Great attributes all around. His mentals and his physicals are excellent. His technicals ain't too bad as well for a 22-year-old. But he's got a 4-star potential ability, so he's got some room to grow. I think he will get better. At the age of 22, he's definitely got the time. And he started off really well. 6 games already he's played for the club. And yeah, he's hit the ground running. I'm quite happy with that one. And as I say, if we go and have a look at the tactics, tactically wise, I've kept it the same in both, not changing that at all. This is the club mentality that I want us to stick to, and that's the way it is staying. Squad wise, our squad is looking very well stacked out now. I've actually sorted out my squad screen, so I've got everything on here that I like. 22 players in there because we do have Europa League football this season. So we're starting to go up in the competitions a little bit. And the fact that we're in the Europa League is even better. It means a little bit more money coming into the club. I'm hoping that maybe by season 5, season 6, we'll get a little bit more money to bring in some better players, but you just never know what's going to happen with it. But the fact that, as I say, Yamada's hit the ground running with 9 goals in 12 games, I'm more than happy with that. And there we have it, guys. That is the season 3 roundup. I almost said season 1. It's not season 1, it's season 3. And we're going to go straight into the highlights to see how we do. We've got all the competitions to play for still. Can we pick up another trophy? Maybe another 2. Who knows? Let's go and find out, shall we? From the Granite City to the Glory Knights of Europe, Aberdeen were out to prove they're no longer Scotland's sleeping giants. The season kicked off on fire, win after win, as Yamada and Demir tore up defences. Motherwell, Levski and Queen's Park all swept aside as the Dons stormed through August, unbeaten in the league and flying in Europe. But September and October brought turbulence. A few draws and a couple of losses, including a narrow defeat to Rangers, yet the spirit of Pittodrie never broke. With a big win over Hearts and a demolition of Queen's Park again, that reignited our flame. November was vintage Aberdeen, free-flowing football, Demir dazzling and Yamada unplayable. The Europa League was still alive, with a win over Young Boys, but a setback versus Viking, and the domestic form kept on ticking. Then came the cold bite of winter. December into January brought mixed fortunes. A run of stubborn draws, cup drama and a painful loss to Rangers, but even then, this side refused to crumble. And in January, the Dons went green again. Wins were piling up and momentum was returning when it mattered. Springtime in Europe was electric. Bologna and Bodo Glimt felt the full force of the Red Army, with goals galore and chaos in every game. And a Scottish Cup run picked up steam as we looked destined for silverware. April and May were all about the heart. The highs, a cup final win versus Dundee United, and the lows, a bruising loss to Rangers. But in the end, it was a season of fight, pride and European nights that fans won't forget anytime soon. Aberdeen are back on the rise. Well, as season 3 goes as the midway point, I'm actually quite happy with that. The fact that we lost a final to Celtic, I could take. The fact that we won another trophy, even better, and we did well in Europe, so that's not too bad. So yeah, let's have a quick look at the fixtures. Now, it is on the save point of the 21st of June, so I can't look at the trophies because it's already reset itself for some reason or other in the European one, and also the cups, and the league hasn't reset. It's really weird. I don't know what's going on there. But if we have a look at the fixtures from last season, which are all still here, so yes, we won the Scottish Cup. Thank you very much to a 1-0 win. Thanks very much to Yamada as well, who has been an absolutely amazing signing for the season. But then obviously we had the Premier Sports Cup, which we went all the way to the final and lost 3-0 to Celtic. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And then when we have a look at the league, and have a look at the stages, look at the league table, we finished 4th, behind Kilmarnock, Celtic and Rangers, which, okay, we're about 20 points off the top. We still have ground to make up. But I'm a little bit disappointed in our end of season form, the fact that we drew 3 and lost 2. Picking up a few more points there would have solidified 3rd place, which I think is where we deserve to be. But obviously Kilmarnock got ahead of us. We're only a point ahead of Hearts. I'll take it, but as of season 4, 5 and 6, I expect us to be top 3, top 2, at least. At least. So this is the last season I will take as that. It's not acceptable for me. And then let's have a look at the squad. So if we have a look at the goals, 32 from Yamada. Nice. And 27 goals and 14 assists from Demir. Realistically, hasn't actually improved attribute-wise that much, but the numbers he puts in is incredible. It's incredible. It really is. You got 4 goals and 7 assists from Ryan Duncan. You got 12 assists each from Scanlon and Medina. Where's Calvin Ramsey? Calvin Ramsey, he got 9 assists on his return as well. 8 assists from Alexander Jensen, our other right back. So all in all, the squad is performing very, very well. But going into season number 4, how much do we actually have to spend? We've got about £3.5 million in the transfer budget to spend, but we're over our wage budget. I'm going to have to readjust and sell players and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's it's not looking too good financially, especially if we have a look at the club finances, so to speak. The balance is okay. We're in the positive. We are in the green. But we're in a low balance where we can't still compete with Celtic and Rangers money-wise. So, and we still have a little bit of debt going on. Yeah, it's difficult. It is difficult to manage Aberdeen because they just don't have the financial firepower that the other two clubs do, especially Celtic more so. And there we have it, guys. That is the end of Season 3 and the results are covered. I'm going to zip along to Season number 4 to go over the transfers that we've got, and hopefully we can build on this, winning another trophy, doing well in Europe. And let's see if we can progress on and break into that top 2 or top 3 of the league. Go on, let's go and have a look. So here we are for season number 4, and let's go straight into it to have a look and see what transfers have been completed. So if we go and have a look at our transfer history, not a lot has been going on. Now, I did allude to the fact that the money was a bit of an issue. If we go back one, I did bring in a couple of players. I need to get these in date order. Okay, so we brought in 3 players before the tick over, and in fact there's one glaring error that I forgot to mention on the season 3 transfers, and that was bringing in Luis Martinez, a Colombian goalkeeper. He came in the January because I signed him on a free transfer as his contract had run out. Colombian goalkeeper, and you know what, I think he is now on your number 1. He's ousted Mitov quite easily, actually, and I think he's going to stay on number 1 for the rest of the save because goalkeepers are really hard to find, and really good goalkeepers are even harder to find for the Scottish League. So this one, I think he's going to stay in. He's still got a bit, well, he's at his current ability, so he's not going to improve too much. At the end of the day, I'm not going to replace the goalkeeper unless somebody else comes along that is going to improve him. But then on top of that, go back again, I did bring in a couple of others. Lancelot McRae is a 15-year-old youth player, came through the youth system. I don't know why he's shown up on there. One of those weird little bug things again. And then also Sebastian Tunketti. I've been to Celtic again. He was on the transfer list for 325k. I wanted a better left winger this time, and he definitely does it. He's got the dribbling, he's got the flair, he's got reasonable physicals. Basically, he will do a really good job, the Tunisian, and he already is doing. In fact, if I forgot to have a look at that, he's already played 12 games, 1 goal, 3 assists. I'm not going to complain at that at all. But then one sale was made of 120k for Mats Noster. He's gone to Győr out in Hungary. I know that because they are in the same league as my Pushkas Academy save, so go and check that one out. And then on top of that, there was a couple of loans from the youngsters, nothing really to write home about. I brought in a Douglas Mendes, a 24-year-old Brazilian centre-back, because Rennick didn't want to stick around, so he's gone. And you know what? For natural fitness and strength, physically, he's a very good centre-back. Mentally and technically, so-so, but he will do as a squad option to back up Lonwick and Gozy as the centre-backs. And then on top of that, this is my favourite signing so far. I'm really surprised I managed to get this guy on loan, but I wanted a better playmaker in midfield, and the best one I could find that I could afford was this guy, Jorthi Mokio. A wonder kid on the game, 5-star potential ability. He's at Ajax at the moment. I've used him in my Ajax save in FM24. Very good player. Lots and lots of people know about him because he's been bought plenty of times before. Very good player, and he's hit the ground running. He's got over a 7 average rate, and he's played 6 games. Very happy with that. I think this guy could take our team to the next level. That's what I'm hoping anyway. And again, with the tactics, I've not changed anything, but I'm keeping Mokio in the side because I don't want to run that risk of getting halfway through the season and for some reason or other my assistant manager isn't playing him, and next thing I know he's out the squad and he's back at Ajax because we've not played him enough. I don't want that. So yes, as I say, he's in the team there as the DLP, and I'm quite happy with that. And if we have a look at the fixtures for the start of the season as well, not too bad. We've played a lot of games. So the friendlies stopped around the time we played FC 20. We got past them, which is not a difficult tie. Easy tie, should I say. It's a difficult game over 2 legs, but we got past them to get into the next round of Europa League. And then in the Europa League again, we got AEK, got past them somehow. I don't know how exactly. And then we got past FC Rapid, so we're back into the Europa League proper again for the season. PAOK, Rennes, Real Betis, PSV, Hoffenheim, Rizespor. and also Midtjylland and Club Brugge. There's some difficult fixtures, really difficult. But as for the league and the cup competitions, we've beaten Dundee. We lost then to Dundee in the next game in the league, which is weird. Drew against Hibs, we've beaten Hearts, we've battered Ross County. We've drawn against Rangers as well, so all in all, not too bad a start of the season. But that is season 4, ready to rock and roll. We need to hit the ground running, basically, and we already have done, so we need to build up on that to see if we can get another trophy. Can we get a European trophy? Not a chance. Too many good teams in the Europa League at the moment. But we can make a good run for that top 3 spot in the league, and I still think we can get a couple of more trophies in the domestic side. So let's go and find out and see how we get on. I'll see you guys in a couple of seconds. After last year's rise, Aberdeen came into the season with one mission: to go even bigger. Europe was calling, and this time the Dons wanted to answer with a roar. The season burst into life in August. Demir and Yamada lighting up Pittodrie yet again. Big wins over Dundee United, Ross County and Falkirk had the fans believing. Europe, steady progress made, clearing AEK and Rapid to qualify for the Europa League. Autumn was a rollercoaster. A couple of losses against Real Betis and Celtic threatened our momentum, yet we fought back. PSV, Hibs and Dundee all crushed as the Dons powered through November with a surge of new confidence. Then came December and the side caught fire. The goals rained in, 5 against Motherwell. Statement wins all over the country and a dramatic shootout victory over Rangers in the Cup. The Red Army are dreaming once again. In 2029, the form barely slowed. Europe turned chaotic. Midtjylland, Brugge and Rizespor all battled in wild goal-filled nights. Yamada was simply unplayable, carrying Aberdeen deep into the spring. April and May were months of destiny. Celtic crushed 3-0, but another Scottish Cup final has been booked. And when the final rolled around, the fairy tale was complete. Aberdeen lifting the Scottish Cup once again thanks to Demir in extra time. From Europe to Hampden Park glory, Aberdeen's march continues into season number 5. Well, I think it goes without saying that that is a damn good successful season. Come on. So let's go and have a look at it, shall we? Let's have a look at the league first. I wanted to break into that top 3. And that's exactly what we did. But not only that, we were only 5 points off the top. 5 points off Celtic and Rangers. Well, sorry, 3 points off Rangers technically and 5 points off Celtic. And the fact that we drew a game, which means we dropped 2 points there, and we lost a game, meaning we dropped 5 points, meant if we just won those games, there was a chance that we could have won the title. But then again, goal difference would have gotten in the way. So ifs, buts and maybes, but that's a really good league season. The disappointing thing is that we lost 10 games over the season, which, yeah, in the end, that's what's affected us. But we still won 23 of our league fixtures. That's darn good. And the fact that we were a good 6 points ahead of Hibernia and then Dundee and Hearts were way off. So I'm not going to complain of that. But then on top of that, winning the Scottish Cup in extra time against Hearts. And also on top of that, winning the Premier Sports Cup on penalties versus Rangers. So that is 2 trophies. Thank you very much to add to the cabinet. That is 5 cups in 4 seasons. That's not bad going at all. But actually, I think one of the better runs, again, was in the Europa League. We managed to get to the round of 16 again after not doing too well in the league, but we still managed to squeeze out 3 wins, which when we looked at the fixture list beforehand, I would have taken that. I would have been quite happy with this. I knew we weren't going to get top 8, not a chance. But I was quite happy with the fact that we managed to qualify. And then, it's gone off the stages again. And then obviously in the knockout round, we got past Rizespor again, who were one of our fixtures in the league phase. And then into the round of 16, where we narrowly, again, same as season 3, where we narrowly got knocked out by Bologna. This time we get knocked out narrowly by Midtjylland. We're on the cusp. We are on the cusp. But we wouldn't have gone much further because it was either Real Sociedad or Spurs in the final, and we would have been battered by them, I think, more than anything else. But squad-wise as well, goals, Yamada, wow. 33 goals this season in 55 starts. That means his first season he scored 32, this season he scored 33. That is, what, 65 goals in 2 seasons. You could chastise me for this, but I think that is probably one of the bargains of the game so far that I've found. For less than £1 million, and he's given you over 60 goals in 2 seasons. That, if you're looking for a striker who's going to fit into a slightly lesser quality league, Yamada is definitely one of the players to look out for. I mean, he upped his total in league goals alone, so I'm very, very happy with that. I need to get a contract sorted out for him because he's 28 and he's only got a year left. But I want to keep hold of him, without a doubt. Let's have a look at a couple of more. So we had 14 and 6 from Ryan Duncan, who played a lot of games. 13 and 10 from Tunketi, great return. 12 and 7 from Craig Aitken. Craig Aitken, who I alluded to in Season 3, is now 18 and is developing really well. And he's had a bit of a breakout season because, get that uploaded, because in total he's played 21 league games, 6 in the Europa League, 16 appearances as sub, and he's been absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. He's even picked up 7 man of the matches at the age of 18. In his first real full season. Should I give this guy a shot for season number 5? I think that's a possibility. And then on top of that, where was I? Diego Medina, 12 and 11, great from the Mexican winger. 7 and 2 from Yusuf Demir, because he only played 18 games, and there is a reason for that. And it is the age-old reason of injuries. Found it, finally. His injury record. Took me a few seconds there, hence the pause. But yes, he picked up 2 serious injuries over the course of the season. Right at the start of the season, he tore his ACL, so he's out for 7 months. And then pretty much immediately, as soon as he came back, he tore his knee ligaments and was out for another couple of months. So that's why he's only had 18 starts this season, but he still managed to pick up 7 goals and 2 assists. So that's not too bad. If only he was fit. That could have changed things for us this season. Leighton Clarkson got 5 and 4. 15 assists from Calvin Ramsey this season as well. 8 assists from Callum Scanlon. Mocchio, well, 1 goal and 3 assists as a DLP. He's improved a little bit, but was that the right signing or not? I don't know. I don't know now. Maybe I could have found a slightly better one. I'm not entirely sure. I do have to find permanent replacements. I hate using loans because at the end of the day, it's like renting. It's just dead money. Waylon Renk, I did say, is going to leave, and he is asking to leave, unfortunately so, because he's not getting the game time. He just can't out Gozi or Lonwick, unfortunately, but that's just the way it is. Speaking of transfers for season number 5, we only have 1.9 million to spend, and I've only got about 30 grand of the wage budget. So again, it's going to have to be a case of trying to sell players and trying to just raise money that way if I possibly can. And there we have it, guys. That is the end of season number 4 and the end of the episode. So we've picked up another 3 trophies in the space of 2 seasons. We are doing really well in Europe, in the Europa League. We're getting into the round of 16, so we're getting well into the knockout stages now. And we've just broke into that top 3 of the league. For me, that deserves a like on the video and a subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with the content. Keep an eye out for my Sunderland short series, also my Puskas Academy Build a Nation save. That is out every Friday. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later. Ta-ra.